What's up guys? I'm here to talk to you today about the Sigma 18-35mm 1.8 Canon lens on the Fuji using this Fringer Pro II adapter. So I finally decided to pull the trigger on the 18-35. The lens showed up. Unfortunately, my Fringer adapter still had not shown up. I had to wait another few weeks for that, and when that finally arrived, I was so excited. I just threw it on the camera and just went and started filming in my house, you know, because I wanted to see what the lens could do. I wanted to see how sharp it was. I wanted to play with those different focal lengths that are available in a zoom and see what I was able to come up with, see the sharpness of the lens. And with that in mind, I was really happy with what I was able to get. So I started filming some other just around the house type footage. I haven't had the chance to really get this out in a street photography type setting or scenario, which is what I really want to start using it. And I actually have some cool projects coming up. I'm going to be using this lens primarily in those projects, so stay tuned for that as well. So I was trying to decide between the Sigma 18-35 and the Fuji 16-55 for a while. I was doing a lot of research, watching a ton of videos, watching sample footage. I talked to a few people who have both lenses to see what their feedback was, primarily in a video format. I ended up going with the Sigma, and why was that? It was really because of the 1.8, the faster aperture. Like I mentioned, I like filming at night. I like filming street photography. There's not a lot of light. Light is not in abundance. So having that faster aperture to me was kind of the deciding factor between this and the Fuji lens. Plus, I don't have any other Canon lenses. I don't have, everything I have is Fuji for this system. So it's something a little different to explore and try and experiment with. And now that I have this Fringer adapter, it opens up a ton of other possibilities. So doing more research on kind of some other Canon lenses, some other candidates that I can grab to throw on the Fuji system. But that being said, that this is not a native Fuji lens, the performance that you're able to get out of it is impressive. So from an autofocus perspective, this lens performs really well, man. Like compared to some of my other Fuji lenses, it does better. You do have to tweak the settings a little bit, and there's some really good videos out there that talk about specifically adjusting your autofocus settings on a lens by lens basis. So once you get it dialed in, the autofocus on this lens in my early attempts has been really nice and kind of a pleasant surprise. The sharpness of the lens, it's noticeable. It's a very high quality, well-made lens, and it has a great reputation among those people who own it, and I can see why. It's a really beautiful lens. It produces a very sharp image, and I think that it's gonna be on my camera a lot. So the other thing with this lens is the cost too. It's a cheaper lens than the 16-55. Now you do have to purchase the Fringer, which kind of mitigates the cost, but now that I have that in the bag, it opens up a ton of possibilities as far as different lens options. So again, it's early, but what do I not like about the lens? Just the size, man. Just the size and the weight of the lens. It's a heavy lens, man. I shoot with the Fuji system. One of the great benefits of that system is that it's small, it's compact, the lenses are very lightweight and small, and it allows you to do things that you can't really do with like a gargantuan lens on the end of your camera. And you know, being that I got this because I wanted to take it in certain scenarios, it is kind of prohibitive at the same time because of the size. So it's not just a perception of people seeing you with this huge lens and just getting kind of weirded out and freaked out in like a street photography type setting. It's the weight too, you know, it's heavy. Like compare this to my 55-200 and even the 18-55mm kit lens. You can see how sizable this lens is, and it's not just the way, you know, the footprint, the physical footprint, it's the weight. You pair this with the Fringer adapter, which is going to stick it even further out on the camera and get that center of gravity even further out, and you notice it. You know, you notice it. It's a heavy rig. It's still great to shoot with. You know, it does help with the micro jitter and that sort of thing because it's kind of anchored in, but it's definitely heavy, and I think that's the biggest drawback is the size and just the perception of just that common street subject when you're out there filming with this or taking photos with it. You're going to be noticed. It's going to be very hard to kind of hang back in the shadows with this lens. So far that's it. That's the only drawback that I can see. I filmed some other footage, just experimenting with it, trying to put it through its paces and see what it can do, what it's capable of, and the type of image that it produces. And it's lovely, man. Like, I'm very excited about the possibilities of this lens. And that being said, with the size, I mean, the 16-55 is not small. You know, that's a big lens as well. So I don't think I was really trading off much going with the Sigma as far as that goes. It's just a bigger lens, man. Having that faster aperture and that constant aperture, it's just reality. Yeah, really excited to get this out into the world. I mean, where I live, things were kind of getting back to normal, and then things kind of took a few steps backwards, unfortunately. So just trying to be mindful, trying to be smart as far as where I go and where I shoot and what I'm doing, and you know, set the right example as well. So trying to be patient. I'm trying to be patient and just shoot where I can and to make the most out of other opportunities, which really kind of forces you to push the envelope. But I can't wait for things to get a little bit more closer to normal so I can get this out in the street where there's people and a buzz and a vibe, and start using this lens. But I really appreciate those of you who have hopped on and subscribed and shown love. Thank you for that. Thanks for watching, man.